Okay, and welcome to stage 4 of our Tic-Tac-Toe program. We've completed stages 1, 2, 3, and that's it. And now we're working on 4. Anyway, so we've created our main loop. Our game's working. We've got user input. So it's basically at this point it's player versus player, X versus O. We can test to see that X is 1. We can test to see that O is 1. We've checked to see if the board is full. And now what we want to do is kind of just make functions to do these things. So far what we've done is we've just gone straight down through. We haven't really done much with functions. So our program's getting a little bit long, a little bit hard to read compared to what it could be. And we've only really used 1 or 2 functions here. So we've printed the header and we've printed the board. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to make functions that will check and see if X is a winner, and check and see if O is the winner. And then we want to make a function that checks to see if the board is full. Okay, so we're going to do this in a couple different steps. We could go directly to the final product, but I want to walk you through kind of the stages a little bit. So now we have the code that does it, so that this is going to make it really easy. So we're going to say, so is winner. So I'm going to actually make 2 functions, even though we're going to change that to 1 in a little bit. So I'm going to say define is X winner board. So I'm going to be sending the board. And how we do that, we've already done that. So I can just copy this. Okay, so I'm going to copy that part and just paste it. Okay, and I just checked the indentation is correct, so we're good there. So if X is the winner, okay, if X is the winner, we're going to return true. So that's why we started this with is. A lot of times you'll see is, like if the variable, like we used is full. So that tells us it's going to be a Boolean, which is true or false. So I'm also doing that with my function name. So is X winner, I'm sending the board. So it's going to look at the board, and if it is a winner, it's going to return true. Else, so if it's not a winner, return false. So that's it. So I'm going to send board, and it's going to check, is it a winner, any of these? If so, returns true. If not, returns false. So I'm going to go back down to here, where it checks for an X win. So what I can just do is I can say if is X winner board, and I can still do all of those things. But I've just taken that big hunk code out of there and put it into a nice little function. So let's test it, make sure it works. And okay, we got an error. Line 71, we have an else, so the indentation is incorrect. Okay. So I got a little confused there with the indentation. So if I go to, so I just need to move this back. Okay, so if else lines up, and then return is only indented once. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so 1, 4, 2, 5, and 3. So hopefully this will say X wins. X wins, congratulations. So I know that this function is working. So where was that at? Yeah. So is X a winner? Send the board. And it comes up to here. Is X winner? Here's the board. Checks it, returns true or returns false. So you can probably guess what I'm going to do next. I'm going to make a function called is Y winner. Oh, sorry, Y. Is O winner. So is O. Now, I'm kind of lazy, so I'm just going to copy this. Not lazy, efficient is probably the word I want to use with that. And paste that in there. We change all those to O's. Now you can see the indentation is a little bit off there. Okay, sure. Okay, so now if O is a winner, same thing. And I'm going to come back down to, where was that at? No, okay. So now I can just say is, so if is O winner board. So if that is true, so if when it comes to here, the board goes up. Okay, it checks the board. If it's a winner, true goes back. Otherwise, false goes back. So we have two choices. So if is O winner board, then I do all that. So let's test that, make sure it's working. Okay, 1, 4, 2, 5, 7, 6. Okay, O wins, congratulations. Okay, so you can see now our program in here is getting a little bit shorter, and I hope you can say that this is a lot easier to read. So if is O winner board, do all these things. Okay, so now I have these functions, they're up and out of the way, which is quite nice. Now, for those of you who have a little bit of programming experience, you can probably see where we're going with this. We want to make this as simple as possible and as concise as possible. So you see here, the only difference between these two functions is the x and the o. Okay? So what we can do is we can actually use another variable to create one function out of these. So if I go up to here in the instructions, so we're going to make a function called isWinner board and player. So I go down to this one. So isWinner board player. Okay. So where it says x player, so copy and paste, make our lives easy. Copy, paste. Use keyboard. And again, I didn't necessarily have to use player. I could have used character. I could have used, letter. It doesn't matter. But I think if you look at this, it's a lot easier to understand. So I've created a new function. I've got rid of my isXWinner. So I'm going to say is the winner, board, and player. So I'm going to go back down to where we check for x, win. So isWinner, board, comma, and I'm going to use capital X. So save that. So isWinner, board X, so it comes up to isWinner. Checks the board, so does board 1 equal player? Player is X, yes. Board 2 equal player, which is X. Board 2 equal player, which is X. It goes down through. So let's test that, make sure it works. Okay, so we're checking for X. 4, 2, 5, and 3. X wins, congratulations. So now I know that this function works. So I'm going to get rid of this one. So you can see how I'm making my code shorter, I'm making it easier, I'm making it more flexible. If for some reason we wanted to add X, O, and Y, we could actually add a third player. That probably doesn't make sense in Tic-Tac-Toe, but if we had a larger board, that might be something we want to do someday. So then I come down to here. So I know I need to send board and what character. In this case, it's capital O. And I'm going to test it, because especially when we make a change like that, we definitely want to test it. So 1, 4, 3, 5, 7, 6. O wins, congratulations. Okay. So we've taken a lot of lines of code, we've condensed them into fewer lines of code, and we've took two functions and made it into one function. So this is a lot more Pythonic, it's a lot simpler, it's a lot easier to understand, and it just makes our code a lot sweeter, let's say. Okay. So that was the first part of stage 4. The last part is we're going to do something similar with is board full. Okay. So currently we have check for a tie. So that's, you've got 9 lines there. We've got 9 lines down here. If we wanted to change these functions at some point, we have to change it in 2 places. So what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of a similar thing. So we're going to define the function is board full, and we're going to send the board. So same thing as before. So we have the board. So what I can do is just kind of copy that. And so if there is a space in the board, it's not full. Otherwise, actually, we don't need to even do that. We can just return false at this point. Return false, return true. Again, as I mentioned, there's only two options, true and false. That's why we used is here. So if there's a space in the board, return false. That means that somewhere in the board there is a space. And again, just as a reminder, make sure that this board 0, has no space in it. Okay? So then I can come down to here. So I can get rid of all of this. Okay, so I can just say if is board full, board. I could put equals equals true, that's fine, but I can just do it like this. So if this is true, so if I send my board up to here, and it checks, is there a space? If there's a space, it's false, it's not full. If it's true, if it is full, then I can print tie and break. So you can see, I can take this code, come down to here, and put that in as well. So you can just see how my code's getting shorter. And also, if you think about it, it's a lot easier to read. If you had no idea what this program was doing, you would say, okay, is board full? Okay, I'm checking to see if the board's full. It's almost, the code itself it's called self-documenting. Okay, we're not quite there yet, but you get the idea. So again, we need to test it. And let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6. Tie. Perfect. Okay, so everything's working exactly as we expected. So again, just to review, we have combined all of our checking for the winner functions into one. Okay, so it's either true or false. We're returning true if it's true, returning false if it's false. We have a function to say, is the board full? So if there's a space, it's false because it's not full. Otherwise, yep, it's full, return true. And we've checked for it down here, check for a tie. If the board is full, print tie. The board is full, print tie. We've checked if there's a winner using the character X, if there's a winner using an O. So that is stage 4.